Whenever I'm telling a story involving my dead name, which isn't often, I use a completely different name. I've got at least 3 people thinking my dead name was Sarah, 4 who could swear it was Denise, and a couple of stragglers who were convinced it was Kelly, or Lucinda, or Abby, etc. The best part is that if I ever do mess up and use my real dead name, no one's gonna believe it. You know, this would work so well. Because imagine you're telling like a different story and there's someone who was there who you told a story to in the past where you used Abby, and then they're like, wait, isn't your dead name Abby? And then you can just like gaslight them into believing, oh no, it was Kelly. Like, what are you talking about? And it's just funny because why? This is kind of infinitely funnier than using like your current name, just like, well, when I was young, and just kind of foregoing it, or just like using your current correct name. This is funnier. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Was I gonna do a different video today? Yes. Was I seriously pissed at the state of the world and decided that we all need to maybe at least have something positive to focus on, and decided to just go through more queer memes? Absolutely. So, you know what, queer memes part 2, because I have enough to go through, and you know, if I can at least make sure there's like a little bit of positive queer representation, and you know, to show people that no matter what they do, we will still be here, then I'm just gonna do that, you know? So that's what we're doing. Being stubborn and resilient, I guess. You know. But to be stubborn and stay stubborn, y'all need to stay hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. My little sister came out to her parents as trans a few weeks ago, and my mom told my gran, who is in her 90s, and she's been phoning my mom every day since, saying, so, when am I going to meet my granddaughter? I'm so looking forward to meeting her. A living legend. This is sweet. We love supportive family members, and honestly, like, the older the family members are, the more sweet it gets, because you know a lot of people their age will pull the whole, oh, but I wasn't raised like that, like back in my day, you know? But instead, her grandma decided to just be a legend and just be like, listen, you're telling me I have 2 granddaughters now instead of 1? That's great. That's great. Can't wait to meet her. And it's really sweet. And we need to all be like this grandmother. Me telling my kindergarten boyfriends they can share me instead of fighting. This is honestly just funnier if you actually imagine like 3 or 4-year-olds doing this. They're just like arguing over who gets to sit with you on like during lunch or something, or who gets to play with you, and then you're just like, I have 2 sides, you can both sit with me. And it's kind of cute when you just picture kindergartners like that, you know? But yeah, generally they can, you know, because especially like kindergarten relationships don't last that long anyways, right? So why would you waste time fighting instead of just sharing, you know? Come on. Help me out here. How do I describe it? Like, I use she, her, but in a masculine way. Like, I'm a girl dad, a short king, a cowboy. She's just some guy. Yeah, I'm just some guy. Yeah, same here. You get it. She, sir. New pronouns just dropped? Because that seems fair. Like, listen, as much as I like saying gender is fake, because it is, that doesn't mean you can't find very specific ways to express how you feel about gender. Right? How I feel about gender is it's silly and I want no part of it. If you feel a different way, that's obviously okay. And apparently y'all are feeling very, like, just some guy. Some dude. Just a person. You know, just feminine in a masculine way. or masculine in a feminine way. And honestly, that seems fair. No homo? Why not? We're out of stock. We're expecting another shipment in about a week though. In the meantime, enjoy our other products such as bananas, pancakes, aromatic, ace case, and our gender line, trans pants, non-binary code, and gender fluid drinks. Thank you for shopping at Queer For You. Okay, y'all had no business making my shitpost this freaking funny, but at the same time, can you really be mad that they made your shitpost funny? Because while the whole no homo is so old, like, why no homo? Why not all the homo? Where did the homo go? If you don't have the homo, and I don't have the homo, who has it? Where did it go? But at the same time, if there's no more homo, and we have to wait for it to arrive again, I guess we can focus on other products, which are equally as important as having the homo, you know? Gender non-conforming... No, you must have heard me wrong. I'm gender non-confirming. Gender me however you'd like, but I'll never tell you if you get it right. Why is this kinda me though? Because... is it right? No. It's probably never going to be right, so I can't really confirm it, but... you know, if you're just some stranger gendering me any which way, I'm not gonna, like, correct you to what it says on my ID or something. Like, listen, I was at the doctor about a week ago, and they called me with, like, Mr. and my last name, right? Then I walked up and went, like, to the assistant who called me out, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs." And then the same time happened again later, when another person called me again and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, was that right?" And I was like, well, that's what it says in your file, right? Because, yeah, in the file it's obviously gonna say Mr., because that's what it says on my ID. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, do I really care? If you correct yourself and call me Miss, or if you just, like, look at me and call me Miss or she, do I really care? No. I know a lot of people will. I know a lot of people walk into the bathroom, see me walk back out because they get confused what a pretty girl like me is doing in the men's bathroom, which is kind of hilarious, actually. My mother tried to out me in front of a boy I had over. I'm MTF. This is not safe for work. Title says it all pretty much. For context, I share a house with my mother. It's toxic and we're working on finding places elsewhere. So I had been talking to this guy online for a few weeks, met him in person a couple of times. I told him that I was trans on one of our dates, and he was totally fine with that. Yesterday he came over to my house and we were snuggling pretty much all day. My mother came home, walks into the living room where we were snuggling, just looks at both of us, dead names me, and walks away, which was painful, but the guy ignored her and went back to hugging me. Later she's talking to both of us from down the hall and starts misgendering me. Again, he ignores it. I was very close to snapping, the only reason I didn't was because he was there. The point is, I know she was under the impression that I had catfished this guy. In her head, how could anybody like me? And she thought that she was, like, warning him that I'm trans. She has the most ridiculous, toxic ideas sometimes. It's horrible. But anyways, we had extremely loud fun pretty much right after, and I hope she heard it. P.S. Never feel unwanted or like nobody would ever like you. There will always be people who love you. This is... like, what do people think? Like, I know some people catfish other people. So, obviously, in that group of people who catfish other people, there might be some trans people, because, you know, no one's out here saying, oh, all trans people are nice people or are good people. But at the same time, y'all have no reason to come for the trans people who aren't, because there are so many other groups of people who are just as bad. So if you want to come for catfishers, fine, but why would you just go around? Like, honestly, queer people and trans people are not gonna catfish someone and risk putting themselves in danger, because we know how likely we are to get hate crime by other people. And that there's like a very high risk of that happening if we just like catfish someone and don't tell someone beforehand, you know. So yeah, obviously she's either gonna have it like in her dating profile, or just like tell them before they meet up, or like when they're meeting up for the first time in public. Do not have that happen. So why would you? Well, I guess because you're so transphobic, you can't picture ever like someone not being like you and not finding it weird or gross. But honestly, I love doing things out of spite, and I know you probably would have slept with him anyways, but doing it extra loud out of spite also seems very fair. Once, my brother got into a fistfight with a trans guy, and when he got sent to the principal's office, the principal kept going on like, "How dare you hit a woman?" And my brother got so offended on the trans guy's behalf, he got into a fight with the principal too. I think the comments or like the title specified that he did not in fact physically fight the principal, he just got into an argument with him, because that just seems fair. Because yeah, while getting into fistfights with each other isn't like a great thing to do, like I'm sure if you talk to each other like rational people, you might have also been able to like figure something out, but getting into a fight with your principal because he's being transphobic seems very fair. Like, what happened beforehand? Like, where's the context? Like, why did this dude get into a fight with this random trans guy at a school? Seriously, why? But still, focus on the important things, like fighting transphobes, you know? If people are really going to assume that guys with long hair are gay and girls with short hair are lesbians, then I'm going to assume that all bald men are actually eagles. I knew it. Something about my dad just wasn't adding up. Is that really what it is? Because my dad is bald. He's been bald since I was born. So honestly, this might be a good point, but literally, this is so silly. I never understood how people feel that comfortable relying on stereotypes. Like, obviously, some stereotypes are true. Right, that's why they get to be stereotypes, really, because, like, maybe a lot of people in this demographic are a certain way. But that doesn't mean every woman with short hair is gay. Or even also attracted to women. I never got why people feel that comfortable assuming shit about other people based on stereotypes. Like, just why? Just why? Don't you have anything better or like more productive to do with your own time, really? So she's gay now? Yeah, she turned in all the paperwork last week and her acceptance letter came this morning. It was all pretty sudden. Well, at least the people working at this office seem to be actually working productively and more productively and faster than any other official office where you hand something in and like get a reply 2 months later if you're lucky. So, you know, the queer office is working very well, you know. But seriously, if someone asks silly questions like this, giving a silly answer like this seems very appropriate, because what do you mean she's gay now? Like, either she really took a while to figure it out, you know, because some people legit are good at lying to themselves and figuring it out way too late, really. But honestly, like, not too late, because there's not really such a thing as too late. But, you know, like, in their head, probably also too late, because once you look back on your life, it all seems very obvious. But, you know, it took a while, maybe. Or maybe she already knew, but she didn't feel comfortable. Or she was scared people were gonna judge her. Which, you're not making a good job at not being weird about it, you know? So, don't ask silly questions. And if you ask silly questions, expect to get a silly answer back. The Barbie movie reminded me about how when I was little, my parents were upset that I kept making my Barbie dolls kiss, so they bought me a Ken doll. The next day, they found me having a funeral for poor Ken in the garden. He had died of tuberculosis. All the Barbies were in attendance, and I buried him under a rose bush. The Barbies were too poor to afford a headstone. It was 1875, so I didn't mark where the grave was, and I could never find him again. he's probably still there. This is gonna be so random. Like, at some point, someone's gonna move into this house with their dog, who's gonna dig up the garden and find a random, probably really, really poorly looking Ken doll at that point. You know? But didn't your parents, like, tell you to, like, if they catch you in the garden having a funeral, didn't they stop you? Didn't they, like, dig out the Ken doll again because they spend a lot of money on it because Barbie dolls are freaking expensive? No, they just let you do it and decided that they were just gonna give up? Well, listen, you can't stop the gay from happening. You know, if the Barbies want to kiss each other because they're gay for each other, then there's some random dude coming along isn't gonna stop that. He's just gonna be put on the ground, quite literally, apparently. If you're a girl, why do you post about girls so much? Their username is literally Willaba. But even if you don't know what that abbreviation means, why do people keep forgetting that queer people exist? That people are in fact attracted to the same gender? You know? Like, how do people keep forgetting that and then just being so confused when anything remotely gay happens that they're like, but that doesn't make sense. Why, like, she must be, like, you know, like, I think she just phrased it really weird. Like, she's probably just talking about her best friend, but she's just expressing it a bit weirdly. Like, no, people are gay. People are in fact gay, and guess what? Women can be gay too, and be gay for other women, and then post about appreciating women. And I don't get why people can, like, forget about that. Me, 11 years old, playing The Sims 3. Wouldn't it be cool if girls kissing each other was a thing in real life? Boy, do I have news for you that you're gonna be excited about, because guess what? That's a thing. That's a thing. It is, and you can take part in it with other girls who want to kiss you as well, you know, so I hope you found that out fairly soon, you know, because then you can get to enjoy doing that, because you obviously are going to enjoy doing that, you know. So it's a thing, but until you figure that out, keep making your Sims kiss each other, I guess. Why does that character have to be queer? Why not? Why does that character have to be trans? Why not? Why does that character have to be a person of color? Why not? Okay, this post is making straight, cis, white people angry, keep reblogging it. Another good response along with why not is, as opposed to, just watch them try not to say normal. Just watch them. Because they're gonna try not to sound super hateful and super ignorant, but in that moment they're really not going to. Because they're really gonna just try not to say normal, or then say normal and then say, oh no, but I didn't mean it like that. Then what did you mean it as? Because there's really no way you can say this without meaning it to be ignorant and without sounding hateful, really. So, you know, why not? If you want to make all your characters queer or a different ethnicity than white, then go ahead. Not just because it upsets people, also obviously because it's important for people to see themselves represented, you know, but the white people being upset at it or the cisheads being upset at it is kind of an added bonus, really. Today I was at a family event and my aunt was asking everyone about their boyfriends and girlfriends, but when she got to me, she knew I was single, so she said, how's Taylor Swift doing instead? Why do I feel like your aunt would be very supportive of you being like aroused? I don't know if you are, if that's like the background here, if you're legitimately just single, but it'd be so funny if just instead of like being like, oh, but I'm sure you'll change your mind, like, have you met someone yet? Just be like, huh, how's this thing or how's this person you're really interested to, or like how's your hobby going, you know? Seems like a very fair response. But honestly, that seems like a fair response either way. Because this constant being like, oh, but when are you gonna like start dating? When are you gonna meet someone? When are you gonna get a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Is so annoying either way. And as an error race person, I probably get more frustrated and annoyed with it than other people. But even if someone is technically into it, like interested in other people that way, doesn't mean they have to be dating. Doesn't mean they have to be looking for someone. You know? So asking how Taylor Swift is doing or asking how their hobbies are doing is a very great like response instead of pestering them about a potential significant other, you know? A professor asked me if I prefer Miss or Mr. because I'm non-binary, and I accidentally said ya boy without thinking, so now I have a professor that calls me ya boy Rogers every time I see him. I am not seeing the problem. I'm really not. Like, I feel like this is just gonna get funnier as time goes on. Because to you it probably sounds normal, right? Because you've just like seen him like every day for the past like year, and he just keeps calling you that, and it's just kind of normal to you, right? But then imagine like being a new student who walks like down the hallway and he hears this professor just randomly call you ya boy Rogers, and like honestly, I would just think it's hilarious, you know, and I would honestly automatically like that professor, even if I haven't met them yet, really. So I'm really not seeing the problem. I'm just seeing the potential for a lot of funny situations. He, him, but like in the way where you see a dog across the street and you're like, look at him go, not he, him like a man. Okay, I love this so much. She, her, but in like a way where you look at a majestic ship, not like a woman. They, them, but in a pile of leaves kind of way. Again, have fun with the way you express your gender. Because he, him, like a man, or she, her, like a woman. Fine, right? But also kind of unimaginative. You know? Why are we so against creativity? If you want to find a way to express your gender more creatively, go right ahead. Today this girl in class looked different because she had straightened her hair, and I told her it was so pretty and straight, and she goes, unlike me. So me thinking that she has bad self-esteem, I say, oh, don't say that, you're really pretty. To which she replies, oh no, I'm pretty, I'm just not straight. And I shit you not, my stomach still hurts from laughing too hard. It's giving the vibe of a woman complimenting another woman and then her male coworker being like, oh no, don't be like that, you're pretty too. Like, no, I know, I'm just very gay, Flavio. Like, you know, I get it, because, you know, if it doesn't click in that moment, like, honestly, are you straight? Because I feel like as a queer person, if someone says, oh, it's pretty and straight, and she says, unlike me, I think we would maybe pick up on it, that she meant the straight part, not the pretty part. But, yeah. People aren't as straight as their hair, because my hair is pretty straight. That doesn't mean I am. I am never coming out to anyone ever again. If you can't tell I'm a little gay, then that's on you. That's not a me problem anymore. I did my part. If you can't read anything about this, then that's really not my problem. I mean, honestly, me right now sitting here with this flag, I'm making it very easy. But I feel like even if I'm not sitting here with a literal flag or wearing a ripped gender role shirt, I feel like I still make it very easy for people. And if you can't pick up on that, that's kind of a you problem. My aunt used to write horoscopes for the newspaper as a part-time job. She had a friend in college who A, always read the newspaper horoscope, and B, didn't know my aunt wrote it. So whenever the friend had a shitty episode, my aunt would make her horoscope as positive as possible to cheer her up. Long story short, they recently got married and they're both my aunts now. What do you mean, long story short? Give me this entire sappy gay romance novel right now. Really, like, I'm a fan of making things or explaining things as short as possible because my attention span is not as good as it could be. So, you know, usually kind of having like a TLDR, you know, just like making it very short is great. But I am telling you this right now, if you write a novel about these two, I'm gonna read the ever-loving shit out of it, I don't care how long it takes. So, you know, if you do want to make it a whole sappy romance novel, go ahead, because I feel like a lot of people are gonna enjoy reading it. Anyways, that's all the memes we're gonna go through today, because again, if you watched the last video, you know I have so many old memes still saved on my phone. This last one was from August 23, so I have a lot more to go through. You know, we will get through them eventually. My next video might be something different. Potentially. I'm not sure yet. I might also decide to screw the plan that I do have in place and just push it all back, but I guess we'll find out. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this gay positivity, I guess we're just gonna call it. And I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe consider drinking something now. But apart from that, hang in there, try not to lose your mind, and do things out of spite. Really, because if these people get to be alive, so do you. Spite them, stay alive, take care of your community, take care of your friends, and I hope this all passes quickly. But anyways, I will leave you guys here, and I'll be back in a few days with my next video. Until then.